Welcome back to the channel. My name's Cody, and today I'm going to be talking about managing stress in business. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody's support for checking out the channel and watching all these videos. And when it comes to managing stress, there's a few buckets you really have to focus on. Can you influence it? Can you control it? If you can't, probably shouldn't assign stress to it. I learned this idea from my very first mentor in the real estate business. Now, for his flaws, he also had a lot of good points that I still recognize to this day as being very helpful for me moving forward. This was one of the most influential. It's very easy to crumble under the stress. I've met with a lot of business owners in the real estate space and other businesses too that get so stressed out when everything's working because there's just little things that are coming down the road, a couple years out, 5 years out. Like, well, I don't know where the market's going to be, or I don't know where my business is going to be. That's okay. You don't have to know all the pieces. The bottom line is you can assign it to these few roles in business. Can you control it, or can you influence it? Control could be as simple as me picking this up. I can control the situation. I can directly change the outcome of something in my business. That could be by you are going out into the marketplace and you are getting the sales yourself. You can go meet with more people, you can bring in more sales. Influence could be going around asking someone else in the room to bring this to you. You're influencing someone to get the same results so you don't have to do it. If you can't do either of those, let's say that's a mile away, you don't have the product, you don't have the means to go get the product right now, you don't have the time, then you shouldn't stress about it because there's enough things that are going to go well in business and there's enough things that won't go well. Where if you're assigning stress to things you cannot control or you cannot influence, you are more likely to implode. You don't want to implode. I've seen too many people get too stressed. I met up with a guy for coffee. Everything's working in his business right now. He's got lots of equity, he's got his cash flows, and there was a little thing that set him off. Someone broke into his building, ripped everything out. He was super stressed. He couldn't directly influence that situation, couldn't stop him from robbing the place as he wasn't in the state, so he couldn't control it. There was nothing he could do. And he was assigning all this stress as to why that was the reason that he wasn't moving forward. But in reality, he was in the top 1% of the United States. We're not talking hundreds of millions of dollars. We're talking about multi eight figure in assets with a low leverage point. There's a lot of people that are in a similar situation. Maybe it's just one less zero or two less zeros, but they're in a similar situation. They don't just take a step back and say, can I control this? Can I influence this? And because they're not doing that, they're assigning way too much stress to the things in their universe. And that will halt progress. That'll negatively influence the way you connect with other people, which will hurt your business, your bottom line, your top line. All the things you really want to be moving forward are going to get halted. Don't overstress on the little things. If it goes wrong, you can worry about it at that point, and you can do preventative maintenance to make sure your business is going the right direction by figuring out what you can control and influence. And if you can't control or influence enough, you need to rebuild your system so that you can control and influence more, but don't worry about it twice, meaning don't suffer twice. If you're going to go through a bad time in the future, you can work through it. But if you're stressing about it or you can control or influence the situation, either put yourself in a position where you can control or influence it or move on. Because if you suffer now and you suffer later, that's not worth it because most of the situations, the hypotheticals, never even happen. Hopefully, this helps you go through your business with a little bit less stress than most people do. And you really don't have to carry all that stress on your shoulders. The world is not relying on your shoulders for your business to make or break today. So figure out what you can control, figure out what you can influence, and write it down so that you can see it, visualize it in front of you. And this should help take some stress off of your shoulders in your business. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to connect, just put a comment down below. We'll chat. We'll hop on a Zoom call. And I'll see everybody on next Tuesday's video.